Hi, I'm David Hildreth, and my case that I'm going to be presenting today is Clinton versus Jones of 1997. The case itself actually has sort of a long background, about 5 or 6 years before the Supreme Court case took place. It involves Paula Jones, who was a state employee for Arkansas. And in 1991, she alleged that she had been sexually harassed and approached by then Governor Bill Clinton. And she actually filed suit in the state of Arkansas in 1994. But that was the time where Clinton was actually already president. And the Arkansas court said that she was allowed to prepare her suit for when he was done in office, but they said that a sitting president was immune from lawsuits at the time. So basically they told her she had to wait to file it. She took it to the Supreme Court in 1997, and they agreed to hear it, and they ruled unanimously, actually, that Jones was allowed to continue with the suit, even though Clinton was a sitting president. So remember that this is from 1991, when the alleged harassment took place, all the way to 1997. So it had actually sort of been a drawn-out process. And we're all now pretty familiar with the Clinton-era sexual scandals. But this actually preceded that. Those started coming to light in 1998, 1999. And this actually preceded that by several years. The court actually also went a little further, and they said that the only time a president would be considered immune from certain lawsuits is when those lawsuits could potentially interfere or limit the president's duties as described by the Constitution. The aftermath of the case is interesting because it actually precipitated what we have all now come to know as the Monica Lewinsky scandal. Lewinsky was actually a witness in the original 1994 case against Clinton, but there were audio tapes and whatnot that had been recorded where she admitted to having sexual affairs with him, but in court she denied it. So it created the big issue that we saw in 1998 and 1999 that really plagued the later years of his administration, and brought to light a number of his supposed sexual indiscretions while he held several public offices. And Bill Clinton actually ultimately gave up his license to practice law in Arkansas. He was actually facing a disbarment, and he agreed to, on the last day that he was allowed to appeal the disbarment, he decided to just go ahead and resign to avoid all the fallout that would come from that. And as far as the role in judicial review goes, this is why I actually think this case is so interesting, is it shows that the person holding the office of the president is separate and apart from the office of the president. And so it goes to show that the president is just the title, but the man holding that, or woman holding that office, is not immune from any of the effects of the law. If anything, they're held to a higher standard, but they're never allowed to just circumvent it. And the fact that the court was unanimous, I think, really shows how resolved they were in indicating the importance of the president's respect and adherence to the law. And finally, it showed that the court doesn't just hold power over another branch of government, but really over all the people who are subject to the government in its entirety, and the president is one of those citizens. So yeah.